Hey there, this is James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems and now with Pedaling Innovations. And today I'm very excited to introduce you to the Catalyst pedal. The Catalyst pedal is the best flat pedal on the market, period. In my opinion, it's actually just the best pedal, period. The reason is because it's the only pedal in the world that was designed by first looking at how does the lower leg and foot optimally move, and then how do we apply that to the bike. You see, every pedal up until this point has been designed with one major flaw. They've all been designed from the standpoint of wanting to push through the ball of the foot. But unfortunately, this is designed on an outdated view of the pedal stroke. You see, the only time that you want to push through the ball of your foot is when you want your foot to come off of whatever it's in contact with. So when you're running, walking, jumping, landing from a jump, whatever it is, those are instances where you're wanting your foot to actually break contact with the ground. That's when you want to push through the ball of your foot. But your foot acts much differently if it doesn't come off of what it's on. So for example, when you're in the gym doing squats or deadlifts, or you're trying to pick up a heavy box or something like that, in this case, you want your foot to stay balanced. You want your heel to stay on the ground so that your foot can stay balanced, and you're actually wanting to drive through the middle of your foot, not through the ball of your foot. And so since when you're pedaling, your foot does not come off of the pedal throughout the pedal stroke, then it's more like this squatting or deadlifting in the gym or picking up a heavy box than it is running or walking or trying to jump over a car that's speeding at you, or whatever analogy you may have heard to explain, well, this is why you want to push through the ball of your foot, because this is how your foot applies power. And again, your foot applies power both through the ball of the foot and through the arch, through the midfoot, depending on if it's coming off the ground or not. So again, this outdated view of the pedal stroke has led to all of the pedals out there being designed being just big enough to get the ball of your foot on there. And this leads to an unstable foot. Of course, the other answer is clipless pedals, in which you have a very stiff sole and then you have a very small platform. But again, this is not the same thing. From your body's standpoint of view, having a shoe that restricts how your foot moves and a very stiff sole and driving into a tiny surface is not the same thing as having a shoe that allows your foot to move and articulate naturally and then driving into a solid surface, solid platform, just like what happens on the ground. So again, this was all spawned because one day I was on the trail and I was pissed off at the support that I was getting from my shoes and my pedals. And as a strength coach, I rarely work out with shoes on. I'm always training barefoot. I'm lifting hundreds of pounds in this gym without shoes on. I've seen people lift lots of weight without shoes on. So I'm thinking to myself, why don't I need stiff-soled shoes to squat or deadlift in the gym? Why is it as soon as I jump on my bike, my feet, which are plenty strong in the gym, all of a sudden become weak and unstable? And it just hit me. It's because the ground supports both ends of your arch. Your arch is one of the strongest forms in nature, but only if you support both ends of it. If you don't support both ends of it, or you don't fully support either end, then you end up with an unstable arch. And since the arch is one of the main supporting structures of your foot, if you have an unstable arch, you have an unstable foot. And this is why people try to make up for that with a stiff-soled shoe. They're trying to stabilize the arch and make up for the fact that the pedal itself doesn't connect the front and back of the arch and stabilize it. So after thinking about it for a second, I realized, well, I got to try this. So after going through a few iterations, I eventually come up with the Catalyst pedal here. And the reason that I worked so hard to bring this to the market is because the first time that I jumped on it, I knew that this was the solution that I was looking for, that my feet were looking for, and that I knew that a lot of you were looking for as well. And just the unnaturalness of the interface of our foot with our pedals. I mean, you know when you jump on your bike and there's those couple pedal strokes, that moment where your feet are getting used to being on the pedals, and then there's the moment when you get off the pedals back on the ground and your feet are getting back used to being on the ground. Again, that's because of how unnatural the interface is, our foot interface with the bike is, because of this false assumption of the pedals just need to be big enough to get the ball of your foot on. So once you get a pedal that's long enough to get both the ball of your foot and your heel on, and it stabilizes the arch, it totally changes the pedal stroke and how your foot interacts with the pedal. So I'm gonna jump on my bike real quick and show you the three main advantages that you're gonna get when you use the Catalyst pedal. So, first thing is when I get my foot set, I've got the front, I got the heel supported, I've got my ball of my foot supported. I have now taken all of the flex out of my foot. You'll see when I push down now, my foot's not flexing, my ankle's not flexing. All of those flex points that we usually see in the foot during the pedal stroke are gone. Everything that you put down into your pedal stroke is going into the crank arm. I've personally found that these pedals are worth one extra gear on climbs because of how much more power I'm able to put down into the pedal stroke because my foot simply doesn't flex. Now the second advantage that you get is you're going to be able to use your heel to drive your pedal stroke. So what that means is as I come over the top, my foot is going to stay flat and I'm going to be able to drive with my heel straight down, which is the strongest action for my leg. That's what I want. When I'm on the ball of my foot or I have a platform that doesn't fully support my foot and I'm a little biased towards the front of my foot, now when I come over the top, I can't push down, I have to push forward. So I'm not able to recruit my hips as effectively. Again, there was a study that looked at this and showed that pushing through the ball of the foot put more stress on the calf and the Achilles tendon. Pushing through the midfoot took that stress off of the calf and put it on the hip. So again, when you can drive through your heel, you're able to better recruit your hips. Now the other thing that this is going to get, and of course you don't know, these are your hips. This is the biggest, strongest muscles in the lower body. Again, they've been shown to be the main driver of the pedal stroke at all intensities. The quads are not the main driver of the pedal stroke, the hips are. So you want to make sure that you got your foot set in a position that's going to let them optimally recruit the hips, which again has been shown to be this midfoot position. And now that you can actually get your heel supported and drive through your heel, it's going to help you recruit your hips even more. So the other thing that it's going to do for you is it's going to take away that over the top sensation of your feet wanting to come off of the pedals. So again, when I'm on the ball of my foot and I'm trying to pedal, I'm pushing forward. And so again, my foot is wanting to come forward. So that's why we have sticky rubber, tons of pins on our pedals, concave designs. All of these things are to combat this forward push that comes with being on the ball of the foot. As soon as I get my heel supported and my foot's balanced, now as I come over the top, I can drive through my heel and I'm not pushing forward, I'm pushing down. So I get rid of that over the top sensation of my foot trying to come off the pedals, especially when I'm pedaling hard through rough stuff. So driving with your heel keeps your foot more planted on the pedals and gets rid of that, foot wanting to come over the top sensation that so many people complain about with flat pedals. Now the third thing is comfort. These are by far the most comfortable pedals you will ever use. The reason for that goes back to what I was just talking about with when you're on the ball of your foot and you're pushing forward. When I'm pushing forward, I am literally shoving my toes into the toe box with every pedal stroke. Every time I maneuver on my bike, I stand up, my weight is now balanced on my toes. I'm shoving my toes forward into my toe box. So every time I'm maneuvering or pedaling my bike, I'm shoving my toes into my toe box, which is what causes all of the discomfort, or a lot of the discomfort, the numb toes, the cramping feet, just all that stuff that a lot of us have just kind of come to accept as part of riding is really a result of your pedals not giving your foot the natural support that it needs. Now, again, when I come over the top, I'm able to push straight down. I'm not shoving my toes into the toe box. When I stand up in my attack position, I'm not balanced on my toes. I can actually shift my weight back a little bit. And again, just dropping my heels into space is nowhere near as stable as actually being able to shift my weight back to my heels a little bit and have a stable supported heel as well. So again, the comfort level of these things is unreal. After several hour rides, my feet feel great still. You don't get nearly the amount of cramping and discomfort with these pedals that you do with normal flats or especially with clipless pedals. So those are the three main advantages that you're going to see from the Catalyst pedal. You're going to have a more stable foot, you're going to be able to recruit your hips better, and you're going to have way more comfort in the process. So better performance, better stability and confidence, and increase comfort. There's not a whole lot of things that you can put on your bike that can promise you all three of those things. So that's it. Definitely need to get you a pair of Catalyst pedals. I love these things. I think that you're gonna love them as well. I do back them up with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's how confident I am in them. Put them on your bike, spend a few weeks on them, and then throw your old pedals back on your bike and see if you don't notice the difference. And again, if you don't find that these pedals are helping you pedal with more power and just have more stability and confidence on the bike, then send them back and I'll give you your money back. Because again, I didn't create these pedals to try to create another Me Too product and make a bunch of money. I created these products, I created these pedals, this product, because I really want to help people with it. And I feel that this is a much, much, much better way to pedal and power your bike. So once again, this has been James Wilson with Pedaling Innovations. You can find us at pedalinginnovations.com, where you can purchase your Catalyst pedals and find out more about us and the science behind what I'm saying as well. And hopefully you guys, like I said, enjoy these pedals as much as I do, and I'll talk to you later.